Welcome to The Explainer. The holiday season, it's supposed to be this magical time, right? Filled with traditions and family gatherings. But when you're caring for someone you love who has Alzheimer's, it can honestly feel more like a source of stress than joy. Today, we're going to walk through a guide on how to navigate this tricky time and maybe, just maybe, find some of that magic again.
So let's just dive right in with the big question, the one that I know so many caregivers are asking themselves this time of year. It can feel like a totally impossible task, I get it, but there are some really simple, powerful strategies that can make a huge difference. First things first, we have to talk about the core challenge, the thing that creates so much tension. It's this paradox, right? On one hand, you have all the wonderful, cherished traditions and expectations for the holidays. And on the other, you have the demanding, day-to-day reality of caring for someone with dementia. And those two things can really clash. And if you're listening to this and nodding your head, please know you are absolutely not alone. The guide we're digging into today makes it super clear that this feeling is incredibly common. But, and this is a big but, it also offers a ton of hope that it doesn't have to stay this way. The joy can still be found, just maybe in new and unexpected places.
So what's actually causing all this stress? Well, just think about everything that we associate with the holidays. A flurry of activity, our routines getting completely thrown out the window, tons of unfamiliar faces and conversations. For a senior with cognitive challenges, all those things that we find festive can become major sources of agitation, confusion, and anxiety.
Now this right here is a real game changer. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset. The goal is no longer about creating the perfect Christmas or Hanukkah from years past. The new goal, the real goal, is to share simple moments of joy, right here in the present. It's about connection over perfection. Okay, so let's get into our first practical tip. And, this one might feel a little counterintuitive. It starts with you. The idea is that managing your own stress is the absolute first step to creating a calmer holiday for everybody. And here's why that's so critical. Your stress, it doesn't just exist in your own head. People with dementia are like emotional sponges. They can sense your anxiety, your frustration, your exhaustion, and it directly affects how they feel and how they act. And this is how you get trapped in what's basically a feedback loop. You can see it here. It's a vicious cycle. You feel stressed, which in turn makes them agitated. And then, of course, their agitation makes you even more stressed out. Breaking this cycle is absolutely key. So when you feel that stress starting to bubble up, the advice here is simple. Don't just try to power through it. Take a time out, seriously. Just stepping into the bathroom for a minute or two to breathe can be enough to stop that cycle before it spirals out of control. Of course, you can also get ahead of the stress. This is all about simplifying. It means learning to say no to things that aren't truly a priority. And this is a big one, leaning on your support system. Ask for help when you need it. You don't have to do it all alone. All right, so once you start getting a handle on your own stress, the next piece of this puzzle is to rethink the holiday traditions themselves. It's not about getting rid of them, it's all about adaptation. That pressure we put on ourselves to do everything like we used to, it can be crushing. So instead, the idea is to choose with intention. Pick just one or two traditions that are the most meaningful to you and your loved one, and just let the rest go, at least for now.
And here's a really powerful way to figure out which ones to keep. Involve them in the decision. Even if their communication isn't what it used to be, just asking them about their favorite parts of the holidays can make them feel so valued and included. It's a way to connect.
So what does this actually look like? Well, it might mean focusing on simple sensory experiences that are familiar and comforting. Think about the smell of cookies baking, the sight of the tree lit up, or the sound of those old familiar holiday songs. Things that tap into deep-seated memories and feelings. Our third strategy is all about getting your loved one involved. The goal here is to help them feel like an active part of the preparations, not just someone who is being cared for while the holidays happen around them.
When they're able to participate, even in really small ways, it gives them a sense of purpose, of feeling useful. It also helps them get familiar with what's going on, which can make the actual festivities feel a lot less strange and overwhelming. And the key here is to focus on what they can do, not what they can't. As you can see on this slide, we're talking about simple things. Polishing silverware, rolling out cookie dough. These are tasks that can keep them happily occupied and feeling helpful.
And this is probably the most important part of this whole tip. You have to let go of perfection. The goal isn't a perfectly peeled potato, okay? The goal is the feeling of contributing and being engaged. The process is so much more important than the final product.
Okay, our final tip. This one is about something that is so easy to forget about, the environment itself. The way you set up your home can have a massive impact on your loved one's comfort and stress levels.
Think about it. What we see as festive and beautiful, a house packed with decorations, twinkling lights, loud music, can actually be really overwhelming for someone with dementia. It can be like a sensory assault, causing overstimulation and confusion.
So the answer isn't to have zero decorations. Not at all. It's just to practice moderation. Focus on a few of those items that are really meaningful, the ones that bring up happy memories. The goal is to create a space that feels calm, safe, and joyfully familiar, not chaotic.
And all of these tips, they really lead us to the most important takeaway in this whole explainer. After all the planning and adapting, what's the real goal here? What is the true gift of the season?
This is such a profound idea. They might not remember the specific conversation you had or the activity you did together an hour later, but the emotional memory, that feeling of being loved, of being safe and included, that's a different kind of memory that can stick with them long after the facts have faded.
And that, right there, is what it all comes down to. So, as you plan for your holidays this year, maybe the most important question isn't, what are we going to do, but simply, how can I make them feel loved right here in this very moment?